All right. Welcome to Kauffman Writes. We are live. Another casual Monday live stream. Today, with all of our Mondays, I'll be talking about some exciting announcements for the Right Now community. Welcome to the stream. Happy Monday. It's the end of a holiday weekend. So, hopefully, you're having a great holiday weekend. Hopefully, we're getting some writing in today, and we're starting right now. So, what we'll do is I'll touch upon some of these announcements throughout the stream. We'll also be doing some writing. I'm going to be doing a live editing session as I am almost done. I'm almost there with finishing the prep for my book, Last Scarecrow. So, I'm going to be hopping into Last Scarecrow. I have some minor character development, as you can see. Perfect. So I have some minor character development, which is awesome. And I also have some exciting announcements. So what I'm going to do is I'll probably start on some character development first. I'll get into it. And then I would say once we're at the 30-minute mark, I'll go over announcements and this exciting, like the giveaway that I have planned. So, all right, awesome. By the way, how's the writing gone for you this weekend? Have you been able to get any, hopefully getting in some writing this weekend? Hopefully, fingers crossed. Hey, what's up, Silent? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Hope you're getting in some good creativity this weekend. How's the storytelling coming along for your book? All right. So you can see with where I'm at, I have all right, so I've made great progress. I'm almost done with my prep. I'm like almost there. I'm so close. I wanted to finish it last week, but clearly I was struggling a little bit. Excellent. Oh, by the way, this is I should say something I'm like super excited about. I just want to say like a huge thank you. I literally on my Facebook, I crossed 1,000 last week, and then I've been growing exponentially. So just a huge thank you to followers in my community, as I've not only crossed 1,000, but now I've gone up almost 500 followers. So just a huge shout out, huge thank you to the growing writing community. I am so honored, and I think that's the coolest thing. I never thought I would grow so exponentially in a short period of time. That was a little mind blowing. But thank you. Thank you. We're making great progress on the YouTube journey, and we had a pretty good weekend. Our story and critique show on Saturday was one of the most popular streams we've had to date. So make sure that if you haven't checked it out, our Saturday story and critique show on the Right Now YouTube channel, it was a great episode. We had some really fun stories, and the weekend streams are getting more popular. Hey, what's up, LeMay? Welcome to the stream, my friend. Hopefully, we're getting in a little bit of creativity. How'd the weekend treat you? Did you have a good 3-day weekend? Let's see. You're doing family trees. Ooh, family trees. Love it. So you're getting in some quality character development. Wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Love it. So character development is great. Silent, last week, I've been doing straight character development. So you can see with Last Scarecrow, I had this to-do list. And I got last week, I got the outline. I've been doing a lot of character development for my cast. Let's see, I need to pull up my character development. You can see I have 28 characters, and I've got the bios now set for the major ones. Let's see. So I have my 3, 6, 7 major characters. And then I got the bio set for the supporting characters. And I currently need to finish now my minor characters, which will be kind of shorter bios. So I like totally resonate with you. When you say you're doing like a family tree, are you kind of like doing like a drawing and like mapping out like a visual of like, all right, who's connected to who? That's actually really interesting. I wouldn't have thought about doing that, but that's kind of cool. That makes sense for family type works. Plus a cover art. Ooh, cover art is so exciting. Ooh, love cover art. You guys want to know something super funny? I was like, all right, I don't know if I can find where that photo went off the top of my head. Let's see. I think actually I'll probably be able to find it on my Instagram the fastest. So there was a photo, and if you're following me on socials on Facebook or Instagram at all, I posted this a while back. But so I did this as a thank you post like a couple weeks ago for Last Scarecrow, finishing the rough draft. And I've gotten a lot of feedback on this. So all these thumbnails, you probably recognize some of them. They're just some of the thumbnails I've used throughout the YouTube journey of the writing sprints. But this was a rough draft cover that I put together for the Last Scarecrow. And I've been getting a lot of writers or a lot of readers who are like, yeah, that looks like a really cool book. I love that cover design. I'm like, yeah, it's awesome. It's the rough draft cover for it. It's not finalized yet. It still needs some more elements, but I've been loving the cover of it. So that kind of cracked me up a little bit. Awesome. So I totally resonate with you on the cover art. That's always exciting. Hey, what's up, Megan? Welcome back to the stream, my friend. It was good to have you in over the weekend. Our story and critique show on Saturday was definitely a lot of fun. Hey, what's up, Tiara? Welcome, welcome. I just received your email. Thank you for that. I saw that you did the next step. I'm like super excited because your story over the weekend, the witch one was actually really, really cool. And once again, for anybody who missed the story and critique show on Saturday, Tiara's was one of the stories we read, and it was a really cool like witch coven story. Definitely very fun. Yes, in a tabular format. Okay, that's really interesting. I was like, in Last Scarecrow, I don't have any type of family dynamic, so I was like, I don't think family trees would work, but I have to do bios because I have a lot of different animals. Sarah, looking forward to learning new things from your post. I'd love to learn more about editing my story too. Yeah, so Sarah, I'd say definitely just stick around. I last week and a little bit of this week, I'm kind of doing the prepping for my second phase of editing. Over the next 2 months, every day of my like normal Kauffman Writes stream, it's just going to be me editing my book. So you'll see a lot of like techniques and kind of how I go about editing chapter by chapter. Hey, what's up, Noah? Welcome to the stream, my friend. I would love your guys' help. Absolutely. I appreciate you guys coming here. So today I'm going to be doing character development for some of my cast of characters. And Mary, welcome to the stream. Welcome, welcome. Tiara, have you ever used Aeon Timeline? Been trying to outline a story with it, and it is genuinely confusing. I can imagine it's helpful if you know how to use it. I don't think I've ever heard of that before. I'm not actually sure what Aeon Timeline is. Is that like a an outlining technique? Aeon Timeline. Let's see. Well, we'll check it out real fast. So Aeon Timeline. So it looks like it's a product. Aeon Timeline helps you manage complex stories so you can present and write with confidence, get your project in order. Okay, so it's really for outlining stories. Plan your story. So it doesn't look like you use it as a writing software, but it looks like it's mostly for project management. Oh, that's kind of interesting. Oh, look at that. We got Scarecrow. Okay, well, this is Wizard of Oz, so that's why. Tiara, thank you for sharing that. I'm going to check it out a little later. I've been reaching out to a bunch of writing software companies for sponsorship. So I love it. I'm going to check it out a little later. That actually looks super cool. I'm looking for the writing software because I kind of want to update from Microsoft so I can make it look a little bit more well organized on the streams. So thank you for that. Hey, what's up, Mast? Welcome to the stream. Hopping into character development. Okay. You guys know I have to review the blurb. I have to review my book blurb like every day until it is perfect. I like have to review it. So we'll see how it sounds today. If I read it every day for like a week and I have no problems with it, then I'm like, okay, I think it's ready. Right now, I think it still could use a couple tweaks. Let me know how you think it sounds. Like, let me know if there's anything that you think you would adjust. Okay. So I guess I should probably do the title. So the official title for the book is The Last Scarecrow. Let's do that bold. And then this will be in smaller, generate italics. A Dawn of Magic series. And usually that's in italics underneath. Perfect. So this is the clear note there. Perfect. The Last Scarecrow. And because I'm not procrastinating at all, I'm going to change it to a color. There we go. The Last Scarecrow, go a little darker. Perfect. I like that. Last feels like it should be in red. This is totally not necessary, like, at all. But we're gonna do it anyways because you know what? I'm having fun. Okay, so the Last Scarecrow, a Dawn of Magic series. Um, the Last Scarecrow. I should probably put book one of a Dawn of Magic series. Book one. I'll put book one like that. Yeah, book one, a Dawn of Magic series. Actually, I think it'll look better like this. A Dawn of Magic series, book one, number one. Book one. All right, sure. We'll do that for now. A Dawn of Magic series, book one. And I think yes. Okay, that looks the best. So, the blurb. The Last Scarecrow awakens to a world of ruins, fragments of tech, and creators' remains, while nature's catastrophic fury lays waste. When an eccentric crow robs Scarecrow of his arm, he embarks on a journey of self exploration in a world full of animals, creatures, and beasts who are losing their memories while fading away from existence. Along the way, he encounters a pixie, a grizzly bear, a skunk, and a dragonkin, who must band together if they hope to challenge the first demon and stop him from calling upon the nothingness. Dot, dot, dot. All right, so then I get that bum, bum, bum. All right. So, as for those of you who've been checking out my streams recently, you know that I've gone through a couple of iterations of this. I'm we know that the cover art has to be awesome and a book blurb has to be awesome if we want to pull in potential readers. So, like, that's why I'm so focused on this because if people don't like this, they don't read the story. Okay. Let's see. Pew, pew, pew. Mass toaster. Let's see. You're saying, was thinking maybe a show on best writing software or good writing books might be helpful for your viewers if you have not done an episode on these. Just a suggestion. You know what? That's actually a really good recommendation. So you all know, are there, I'm actually going, so this week during with my live streaming schedule, I guess this is probably a good time to call out. Let's see. It seems like there should be some hint if they fail. Interesting. It seems like there should be some hint if they fail. Oh, like what happens if they fail? So I'm calling with an eccentric crow. Yeah, actually, that's a really good point because right now this speaks to the journey. So it speaks to the character development, the world building. Adric must bend if they hope challenge the first demon and stop him calling from the nothingness, right? Because it doesn't really set stakes. It doesn't really set stakes. And I think that's why originally I had something after the nothingness. The first demon stopped him from calling upon the nothingness to destroy the land, to destroy all the creatures, to destroy all living creatures in the lands of the last. Perfect. Along the way, he encounters a pixie, a grizzly. I think grizzly is fine. He encounters a pixie, a grizzly, a skunk, and a dragonkin, who must band together if they hope to challenge the first demon and stop him from calling upon the nothingness to destroy all living creatures in the lands of the last. I think because essentially it's setting up some type of stake, right? I think, Mary, that's a good call. And I actually think that works a little better now. Along the way, he encounters a pixie, a grizzly, a skunk, and a dragonkin who must band together if they hope to challenge the first demon and stop him from calling upon the nothingness to destroy all living creatures in the lands of the last. Let's see, I got Grammarly. Yeah, I use Grammarly as well. Grammarly is super convenient. I would say, like, logistically, it helps me with grammar like 60% of the time, and then sometimes its recommendations are whatever, but it's definitely been a pretty good investment overall. Never used Papyrus. I'll have to check that out. I always like checking out new writing software. Papyrus. Let's see. I use those writing even Grammarly to help with sentences. I'm still working on the grammar and sentence structure. Yeah, and I think if grammar is like a weakness or you just want to improve efficiency, I think using a tool like Grammarly is great. Let's see, maybe just the nothingness that would destroy all and stop him from calling upon the nothingness to destroy that would destroy all. Yeah, and then because I kind of included a little bit more world building once again. So along the way, he encounters a pixie, a grizzly, a skunk, and a dragonkin who must band together if they hope to challenge the first demon and stop him from calling upon the nothingness that would destroy all. Upon the nothingness that would destroy all living creatures in the lands of the last. Yeah, kind of. I go back and forth. I think I could go either way on whether I think that, because technically this sets up stakes, or whether, because technically this is just more world building at heart. Then I'm using another intrigue of like, oh, it's called the Lands of the Last. Interesting, but perfect. And so something actually, Mouse Toaster, that you were calling upon. So we're hitting the 15-minute mark, and it looks like I have a good deal of the community in here. So I'll go through the quick announcements now, and then I'll touch upon it again at the end of the stream. So, let me pull up my schedule. So the schedule I have for this week, let's see. I was like, in a perfect world, Kauffman was very much prepared with everything. All right, so let's see. So my schedule for this week. So I'm going to have a little bit of a different schedule this week because I'm going to be traveling. I'm going to be traveling on the road out of state. Let's see, where did I go? As such, I'm going to have a slightly different schedule. Perfect. And I always like to show it to the right now community here on the stream first. So as you can see, so this week, this is going to be my schedule for this week. Let me blow that up a little bit. So as you can see, so this is going to be my schedule for this week. I'm doing more writing sprints with my Kauffman Writes, with my normal like writing sessions. And because I'm going to be on the road, we're going to be taking a break from the Create Right Now podcast on Sunday. So that'll return next week, along with the story and critique show will also be returning next week. As such, my times on Friday and Sunday will be to be determined. Based on where my traveling schedule is at. We'll still have our Right Now Writers group. So make sure that if you want to come join us on the screen with our other writers in the group, definitely drop a comment or shoot a message. Our writers group on Wednesday is very, very popular. It's like a great experience if you need like motivation or just want to talk with other writers. And then Saturday. So with the launch of my redesigned coaching program, I've just launched a brand new coaching program. Here you go. So I've just launched a brand new coaching program. Essentially, this is I'm kind of like referring to it as the redesign or the redefined affordable coaching program for unpublished writers. So I've just launched it through my website. Once again, if you guys want to check out, the page is all updated. So it should be all updated and set up. I'm super excited about it. But in honor of setting this up, I'm going to be doing a live giveaway this week. So free coaching session. Perfect. So as such, I'm going to be giving away a live coaching session, a single free live coaching session. Let's see, I should probably share the link, make a copy. Oh, I need to copy the link. It's somewhere over here. No, it's the send button. I was like, beautiful. So I'm going to be doing a free live coaching session. So, and this is kind of in celebration of this redefined coaching program, because I want to show you and I want to show the community what a coaching experience, what it looks like. So normally I'm charging about 30 to 60 for these 30-minute to hour-long coaching sessions. And essentially what you guys are going to do is you can submit for a free coaching session. Next, what we will do is on Saturday. So the way this goes, so you can submit through this form for a live coaching session at this link right here. So if you want to submit for a free live coaching session, Friday, we're going to choose winners. So I will select the winner out of however many responses are submitted. And out of those, whoever wins, I will be doing a live coaching session on Saturday here on the stream. So Saturday's stream is going to be talking about writing coaching and less about me as a coach. And it's going to be talking about the specific values and the specific opportunities for helping out writers. So I'm going to be deep diving into the background and the logistics of it, into how, why a writing coach would really benefit you, and then balancing that out with, after I've spoken with probably over thousands of writers in the past 7 months, I've really determined, right? So you can see this speaks to the coaching program itself. And then I've really broken down the key problems that writers really need help with, right? Between book and critique reviews, book development plan, accountability, blurb feedback, series Bible, outline creation, new writing techniques. So those are some of the key elements that I have been able to figure out based off talking of like thousands of writers, right? So I've redefined the entire coaching program around this. On Saturday's stream, I'm going to go into depth on each of these areas, and we're going to be talking about as a community why, like, how do we overcome each of these areas as writers? So I'll be digging into each of these, and then because I'm of the belief, right, I give out the information for free. And then if you want the personalized experience, it's essentially where coaching comes in. If you're like, hey, you know, I know the stuff, but maybe I need an accountability partner, or maybe I'm working on my book and I need help like with my book to really refine it. So Saturday's stream is going to be revolving around the redefined affordable coaching program for unpublished writers. So make sure to sign up. The submission form, I should have put it on the YouTube link. Perfect. So, okay, perfect. So to apply for a free coaching session this week, apply, submit and submit here. Perfect. So what I did was I just added it to the YouTube description as well. So you can always go to the YouTube description. Perfect. So I just added that to the YouTube description. Weird. All right. For some reason, it does not want to let me update it like normal. It's interesting. StreamYard's been going through a change with their company because they were bought over, and a lot of their online like logistics have been kind of funky. So I'll have to update it after the stream. But so make sure to go to that link if you want to apply for a free coaching session. Basically, if you submit an application, this kind of lists what to expect from a coaching session. And then this lists kind of the logistics and what to expect from this free coaching session. Essentially, the details will be sent to the winner on Friday. Everyone who submits an application, I will choose one at random on Friday's live stream. So that's how a winner will be selected. But I'm putting this out to you, the Right Now community, first. And the application's super easy. So it's just asks you a couple questions about your writing journey and what book you're working on. So definitely submit a response if you want a chance for a free coaching session. So it'll be super exciting. This is the first time I'm trying it out. So that'll be Saturday at 2 p.m. Mountain Time Zone. Perfect. So that's the thing that I'm focused on this week. Super exciting. Really looking forward to that Saturday stream. And then next week we'll return with the Story and Critique show and the Create Right Now podcast. Okay, perfect. So with that being said, I wanted to do that announcement. And this is where I need your help, friends. So for those of you who've been here in the Right Now community for a while, I have had such incredible support from each of you, and I really just want to thank you. Let's see, where did my notes go? So September. I haven't put together the post yet. I'll probably put it together a little later. But so far for August, my aggregate stats for August are incredible. I have seen the most growth across all my platforms. So essentially all the platforms that I'm on, and I can probably show, let's see, I think I had YouTube and Facebook pulled up. So YouTube, obviously, if you're here on the YouTube, the Right Now YouTube channel, or on Facebook. So these are the two most predominant of my platforms. Here we go. Here we go. So YouTube, Facebook, and we'll just go to here. Perfect. So, of all the platforms that I've been at, I have seen incredible growth, and it's specifically from each of you. I really appreciate each of you being involved in the community. I appreciate the comments. I appreciate the feedback, the engagement. It is so cool. And even when we do like our community writing streams, whether it's the writers group or whether it's like a critique show or different writing events, you guys ask such amazing questions. The a number of stories I've received on our critique show and the quality and creativity is incredible. The and then the kindness that we see in the community is absolutely 100% amazing. I want to continue fostering a community where we can be kind, but we can also be confident in our creative ability so we can all get our books published. Because at the end of the day, that's what we're here for, right? We're here to improve our writing processes so that way we can get our books published and then hopefully make a living from it, right? And that is the goal. So this is just a huge thank you. Now, Facebook and YouTube are where I post predominantly, but I'm on every social network with the exception of TikTok. TikTok's still in the future. And while Facebook and YouTube are my main priorities. So out of all of my social media, I now have an overall audience of 2,400 members who are part of the community, which is super incredible. I've grown by almost 500 people, aggregates, individual people in the Right Now community over the past couple, I would say over the month of August, which is incredible. And can you believe this? 600 hours of watch time on YouTube. So that means that of all the live streams, of all the videos that have been put out, 600 hours have been watched in the month of August alone. And that's things that I'm trying to do to bring you value and you're engaging with it. So that's just like, that blows my mind. I didn't even think that I would get to this point. So like, I think that's so, so awesome. And then let's see, views we've just approached 9,000 views across our content, which is amazing. And then we have had an engagement statistic across the social media platforms of either comments, likes, views, or shares almost 7,000 times. I'm like, my mind is so blown from that. And that's just from the month of August. So this is just a moment I wanted to take and really thank you. If you're here in the community, if you've been involved, just for all of your support throughout this past month. We're continuing to go strong and we got many more writing events lined up. So this is just a thank you. I'll be putting out the social post either later today or tomorrow. But thanks again. All right, beautiful. So with that being said, let's say we don't need that stuff anymore. Perfect. Let's get to the editing session. Awesome. So you know that I am focused on, I got to do the prep for Last Scarecrow. I have 2 more things that I got to do to finish and be ready for the book. And by the way, Oak Flame, welcome to the stream. You caught us on one of our Monday streams where I do updates for the Right Now community. And then I also am doing a live editing session. I'm prepping for my book, The Last Scarecrow, which is a dark fantasy series. It's a dark fantasy genre story. And it is book 1 of a Dawn of Magic series. And here's the blurb. I would say just pause the video real fast if you wanted to see what the blurb was, because I just reviewed it with the stream. But this is essentially what the book is about. Clearly, I'm kind of refining it, but it's basically like a crazy post-apocalyptic world with a crazy magic system and all this craziness going on. Definitely a lot of fun. Okay, so I gotta focus on, let's bring up the character development. I have 14 more characters to plot out, but these are all minor characters. And to me, a minor character is a character that is involved in less than 10% of the plot, right? So that means they're generally anywhere between like 1 to 3 scenes for the most part, maybe a chapter. So the development for these characters is going to be much, much less involved than it is with the previous with the like major characters. As you can see, like the major characters, like my protagonist, Last Scarecrow, I've taken up a whole page with him. I also already had a really good understanding of where Scarecrow was at, so I didn't need to do something that was crazy. I think I did the most development with my Gore the Grizzly Bear, simply because I needed to really flesh his character out because he only got introduced at around like 30 to 40% through the story. Perfect. Okay, so let's get on to our next characters. Who do we got next? So out of my minor characters, so far I got Mr. Quilt. Let's see. So I've been kind of playing around with this. So Mr. Quilt is he's essentially when the heroes are at the mentor part with the last robot, about 30% of the way through, they're given this quilt, who this quilt is said will lead them to the magic that they need to beat the demon at the end of the story. Scarecrow originally interacts with Quilt, who helps him out. Miss Quilt's kind of like a flying carpet type dynamic, and he interacts with Mr. Quilt, and they help out each other. But when the last robot gives him Mr. Quilt back, the quilt is basically like a regular quilt. It's not. There's nothing special about it. So they don't know what to do to essentially bring this quilt back to life. So that the quilt throughout the majority of the journey is kind of an inactive character, but until a little later on in the story. So the backstory for this is originally a dog, and this is what's different about Quilt. The majority of characters in the world were originally, at one point in time, originally humans to some way, shape, or form. This was one of the few characters who was an animal who gained a different type of sentience. So Mr. Quilt was originally a dog who was given the capability to speak through human tech. When it came into contact with an essence, it gained sentience and a high intelligence at the cost of form changing, never remaining the same object for too long. This thing was discovered by a man in trench coat who found a way to tether it to a single object. In gratitude, it remained by its side, choosing to stick to its final form, a quilt which could fly. It eventually became Trenchcoat's most trusted companion. Character type. Currently, it's a quilt of high intelligence that is seen form changing into a motorbike, a dog, and a tree in flashbacks. Having been around for so long, it's drawn inward and very rarely speaks. So one of the reasons that it no longer communicates is because it's been around for so many eras that it's basically kind of grown inward, almost like due to its age. What we've seen with characters in the world, anybody who has been given a magical essence ability over time, their memories and their intelligence, or it's more their memories erode over time and they grow more and more inward. And their final form is they become these gemstones, which is super cool. We developed that last week. The difference with Quilt is Quilt hasn't been around long enough to become a gemstone, but it's basically drawn inward where it no longer communicates with the world, except with Last Scarecrow. So Scarecrow did something that allowed Quilt to become more active. What do they want? They want to help their friend one last time, the man in the trench coat. And the man in the trench coat gave him one final mission before he disappeared. So that's basically like this character's intention. Its ability, so Quilt's ability is form changing, and the essences that it draws from for that ability is the essence of dirt, air, and spirit. Great question, Mast. So I think the reason that I wanted to start it off as a dog was because I think at heart I want its character to come across as kind of like a human's like best friend. And I think starting it off as as a type of animal who already has a good relationship with humans, I want that to still kind of be at its core nature. So I think when I thought about different animals of like, okay, animal, it becomes an animal, gains sentience, and then basically becomes an object changing creature and then lands at a rug. Essentially, that's its trajectory. So I think I went with dog because of like dog's nature of being man's best friend, so to speak. So I think that there was intention with that. I could have got a different number of animals, but definitely give a shout out if like it doesn't make sense at all. Awesome. So that's Quilt. I'm actually pretty good with Quilt's character. I'm gonna try to kind of speed through some of these like minor characters so that way I can get through each of like the minor characters in my list. Okay. Yay! Yeah, and definitely if I'm talking about like a character development and it doesn't make sense, just let me know. Be like, yo, that's broken, or yo, that's cool. Because that just gives me good feedback of things that you're like, oh yeah, that's like super cool, or that's kind of confusing. Okay, so the last robot is basically my mentor character. And the cool thing with Last Robot is the last robot is the only character in the entire unit or in the entire era that is the only remnants of the science fiction, the tech element from the era of humanity is the only remnant of the real of a true AI type program. So this is the robot story. The last living AI from many eras gone by. He was built and designed to destroy humans and was reprogrammed by Trenchcoat, who gave him the freedom of choice. Last Robot chose to help the humans out of gratitude, being one of the few remaining AI programs from a different time and a different era. He eventually became a friend slash companion of Trenchcoat who relied on him but never fully trusted him. Last Robot remained true to his promise and retained Trenchcoat's mission through the end of humanity and into the many years after, surviving only by rationing the oil liquid era after era, and soon finding ways of testing animals who entered the remains of New City to pass on his knowledge as his time was eventually running out. Let's see. His character type is high IQ. So obviously, Last Robot is an AI program who's basically been around for like a very, very long time. And basically, he's kind of at the end when Scarecrow meets him at like about maybe about a third of the way into the book. And Robot is kind of that mentor transitioning character who sets him up with the journey of like, this is the first demon. You got to go to the graveyard of the last and get the thing to kill the demon, and then the robot really dies because he finally like is able to he's held out long enough, he gives a mission, and then that's the end of Mr. Robot. But we actually see Last Robot in a lot of flashbacks, so we get to see a much earlier version. Last Robot has a high IQ, pulls from a very corrupted database because he's been around for so long and partially corrupted by, actually, I don't think he's going to be corrupted because I think New City, which is the one like kind of destroyed city that Scarecrow and friends hit a third of the way into the story, is protected by one of the braziers, which actually has an aura around the city. So I actually don't think he's going to be corrupted. Character type, he's very dramatic. He's kind of a kooky character. He's kind of like if Yoda was a robot. That's going to be kind of like his style. If Yoda was a robot, that's kind of like the direction I'm going to go with him. Kooky and very little care for those who do not fit in with the mission parameters designated to him by Trenchcoat. Continues to survive out of a sense of routine. What do they want? They want to pass on their mission knowledge to a creature who will honor Trenchcoat's memory. Abilities. He doesn't have an ability. Originally, a memory ability. In the rough draft, I gave him a memory type ability. I'm going to change it a little bit because I don't think I want him to have an ability. I think I really want him to represent the science fiction element in the story, or more in the world. Let's see, Sean, you asked a great question. So, since Quilt was never a human, will they never become a gem? Right? And you see, this is what's interesting, right? So the gems are basically humans who. So if you think about it like this, all humans were changed into animals, essentially. Like that's really what happened. in the long term, certain animals basically received abilities based on like the essences and abilities that happened to them. These animals, originally humans, over time, the downside of having these cool magic abilities basically changed their state of mind, basically essentially made them go kind of lose their sanity over time, draw inward, and essentially become a gemstone. So the gemstone is less an effect of them being human, and it's more effect of the magic of how the magic affects the an animal or a human turned animal. Now, with Quilt, the question is, will he become a gem? Maybe he will, maybe he won't. I haven't made that decision yet. Well, I'm clear on how magic has. I figured out how like the gemstones and the magic plays into humanity. I haven't decided how I want it to affect something that's innately an animal. So I'm kind of going back and forth. Yeah, but that's a really great question, Sean. He might. I might do something different because I think I do kind of want to reward this character instead of making him a gemstone. I'm going back and forth. TBD. Great question. He might not. I might turn him into something else for it to show how differently it affects animals who are inherently an animal. Their core is an animal. Hey, what's up, Steph? Doing character development today. Hello, hello. That was hello 1 4/5 times and not a political observation of America today. John, I love it. Welcome, welcome, my friend. Glad to have you here. John, I love that you add satire now to the end of your posts. I think because I know you're very like, I know your niche and your thing is comedy and satire. I think that kind of gives I think that gives like an additional clarity for your intent with messaging. With messaging, that's why I love using emojis, and that's why I love using emojis, because like you can express things, you can express types of emotions in text that can sometimes be lost. I think that's a great strategy, my friend. All right, so so I got Quilt, I got Robot. I'm good with both of their characters. All right, so the Golden Sunflower. Let's move right on. So the Golden Sunflower right now is a character. It's actually the first antagonist that Scarecrow deals with after it's basically the first obstacle that Scarecrow deals with when starting off on his journey after leaving the new city and the last robot. The Golden Sunflower has a really interesting ability. And I need to pull up the magic because I think I called it something, and I want to make sure I'm clear. Magic system. Perfect. And then if you want to see the nothingness, oh, by the way, I'll put the magic systems here because I think the magic system is so cool. See, do we need magic? Kind of got a couple things going on here. I was like, do we want magic or world building on the side? I mean, I think I'll put magic for now. Yeah, I'm fine with that. I'll put the magic here for now, and then I can always change it. So there's basically the system of essences. Let's see. Perfect. I figured out that. Each essence send out an offspring. Offsprings bestow magic abilities. Perfect. Okay, so that's fine. So Golden Sunflower, I just need to see because I listed all the abilities down here. List of abilities. So I want to say that Sunflower, Fire God's here. Oh, did I skip Sunflower's ability? Interesting. Okay, well, oops. All right. So Sunflower has the ability of thinging manipulation. It's so Sunflower's ability is musical. So let's call it music mastermind, musical manipulation. Musical manipulation, musical brain control, musical reality because they kind of lose they lose sense of time. So essentially what that happens is they get to this garden, they see all these like animals and these characters, and they're basically pissed off that Pebble's a prankster and kind of screwed over their environment the last time she was passing through. So what they do is essentially the sunflower starts singing this song. And I guess I should probably pull, I mean, do I need to deal with, no, I won't deal with the song right now. The song's going to be so important because I need it to speak to the theme and it's mentioned throughout the story. But essentially the golden sunflower it's like the leader of this entire field of vegetables and plants that are basically have sentience, and they're basically just toiling over this field endlessly for no apparent reason to the others. Now essentially they're toiling over the field because, let's see, have I determined why they're doing it? No, that's what I need to figure out right now. So, and essentially the sunflower controls all the animals, all the plants and the the things in this field through musical manipulation. When it sings this song, it starts it kind of acts like a siren. The golden sunflower is a little bit like a siren. That's actually, I think, a better way to explain it. The golden sunflower is kind of like a siren. Yeah, I think that is because once it starts singing, it kind of lulls anybody who hears it into this like soothing state, and then they start losing sense of time and reality, and suddenly Last Scarecrow like gains like recollection again 3 days later, and he's just busy working in this field. So musical manipulation, Sean, I love that. Musicalation. I like that. Essences I always knew you were Team Slytherin. Actually, Team Ravenclaw, but close. Let's say no. I thought the fantasy world was real. Let's say I thought the fantasy world was real. Yes, the fantasy world is real. Can you explain the human world and background of transitioning that the characters try to remember? Or is it that the series uncovers a dream or AI takeover? I thought the fan. Can you explain the human world and background of transitioning that the characters try to remember? Okay, so Nil, actually, so what I'll do, because this actually goes in the timeline, I'll share with you guys the timeline because the timeline is actually going to clear up this question very, very well. So let me go into where's my timeline? I think it was Last Scarecrow. Perfect. So this is actually the timeline of the world. So this will give you era of the creators. So during the era of the creators, this goes from our golden age, age of AI uprising, humanity wins, humanity wins the AI uprising, humanity wins, but at the cost of a destroyed weather environment. At the cost of their weather system is thrown out of balance. So kind of like when we think about like Matrix, right? So Matrix, the AI take over, rule the world, and everyone goes in the Matrix, but the weather's basically fucked up. This one, it's kind of similar to that ideology where the AI, the robots basically fuck up the weather, but humanity wins, right? So humanity wins, but basically the world is screwed. So that's kind of what goes into this downturn, and that's what leads into the era of nature's wrath. Nature is essentially what ends up being humanity's downfall. And it's interesting because once again, AI created by humanity, and AI end up inadvertently being both their salvation and their destruction at the same time. And I think that's what I'm really wanting to play into. And then the era of nature's wrath. This is the decline of humanity. This is when the essences are unleashed into the world and reshape/annihilate humanity by turning all humans basically into animals for the most part through the unleash of the first demon. So this is basically the end of humanity. Then we have the era of the animal. This is when animals are predominant. Basically, a bunch of different animals roaming the lands. The animals form tribes. The tribes, this leads to the era of the tribal wars. The tribal wars, there's a clear winner. I'm still determining the winners, but this kind of decimates the tribes for the most part, but the animals are still intact. Then we return with nature's wrath gets worse again. This happens at the conclusion of the tribal wars, and this is what, once again, similar to humanity, nature decimated humanity. Nature now once again decimates the tribal system and the animals, leaving after the era of nature, leaving animals. Like basically there's very few animals remaining. Now, by the time we hit the current era of the story, which is the era of the nothingness. So by this time, many animals have perished, and that's why there's a lot of the last of a lot of species. And many animals who still survive have lost their memories or are fading, their memories are fading as a result from this new power that has showed up in the world, the nothingness. Nature has basically killed and eroded the physical animals. The nothingness is causing animals to lose their memories. This is a very unforgiving world. So, but because it is a very dark post apocalyptic world, it does mean that there's going to be some very, very profound journeys and characters in it. It's very, very intentional. I wanted the world to be a very dark experience because it's going to prove to have some incredible character journeys. Great question, no. I hope that answered your question. With I wanted to have that AI element, but I don't really want it a part of the story. I think the best way to think about it, Nil, is like, have you read the Wheel of Time series? For anyone who's read Wheel of Time, think about it how Wheel of Time references like their golden age, where basically they have like flying technology and it's amazing. And they reference it sometimes, but it's in a far, far different wheel. It's in like a far different time period. And while it's referenced as a backstory, it's the main story as it's epic fantasy. So I think it's kind of that philosophy for the most part. Great question. Let's see. Apparently, the sunflower's ability of always facing the sun. Yeah, Johnny, you see, you figured it out. They ain't facing the sun anymore. Or maybe, John, that actually, I know you're joking, but that actually gave me a really good idea. So back to my sunflower. Let's see. So back to my sunflower. I was like, I don't know, maybe I should. No, we'll keep the magic. So maybe the sunflower's intention is maybe they're trying to call out the sun. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Maybe they're in this like endless toil because all they want is they want the simple pleasure of the sun returning. That actually, John, that's actually a very easy motivation. What do they want? They want, it's almost like they've created this ritual for themselves. They've created a gardening ritual to call forth the sun. Yeah, it's kind of interesting. It's almost like they're going to be worshiping. They're almost worshiping nature. There's actually going to be something really interesting about that. And I think that's actually a really great way to tie it into the world building. I absolutely love that, John. Thank you. Let's see. When did the stream start? Hey, what's up, Marta? 49 minutes ago. So that's a great question. So Doreen. So does the word last have more than one meaning? Like actual last and also from the land of the last? Great question. So the last does have a couple meanings in the story, and I use it very, very intentionally throughout. The last references the last of a lot of the species. The lands of the last also represent. There was one of the last civilizations of humanity that existed in the very end of the age of humanity. They called themselves the last. So they were actually a group that was like the last surviving remnants of humanity. They called themselves the last. They actually deemed the world, they called it the lands of the last. And that name, like a lot of names that happen in the story, kind of become mythology and become remembered as only remnants and shadows. And now by this era in time, most animals, most of the things have really forgotten, and nobody really understands or knows where what how the world has really originated or transitioned. I would say that the only characters that truly remember what of all my characters, the only characters that truly remember the age of humanity is probably the last robot, the last Scarecrow, who technically Scarecrow doesn't remember throughout the story, but he remembers at the end, and then the first demon. Those are the only three characters who were Scarecrow. Those are the only three characters who are currently, at least in the first book. I might create another character, but at least in the first book, those are the only three characters who were alive during the age of humanity. Great question. I hope that answered your question. Woo! Last version of my first draft. That's a great point to hit. Okay, sweet. They want to soak up the sun. They want to tell everyone to lighten up. Yeah. I guess I can probably pull that magic because the golden sunflower has this like magical. I probably should pull up the I actually probably should pull up the actual song because it is actually pretty important to the sunflowers character, but it's also more important to the theme. All right, so let's pull out the last scarecrow. Okay. Is this it? Perfect. Here's my manuscript. Okay. So let's go. Wait, actually, I think I saved the song somewhere else. So I actually don't think I need to go into the manuscript. Where did I save it? Perfect. I saved it under, I think, synopsis. I think I did. Where is it? Yes. Okay, perfect. So I have the song. So I would love feedback. If you guys like, so right now, this is the original song. This is Golden Sunflower song. Right now, this is just a rough draft. I think I do want to clean it up a little bit, but my intention for it is I want it intent, Golden Sunflower song, intent. I want it to be hauntingly beautiful. That is my goal for it. Theme, it needs to resonate with the underlying theme of the story. And I kind of set it into three things. I remember I made this originally when I wasn't sure what I wanted to do with it. Let's see. Perfect. So I remember I made that originally when I was still trying to figure it out. But yeah, so this is the song that I have right now. Right now, I still consider it a rough draft. I do want to improve upon it a little bit. Okay. But I absolutely love that Marcella because you're singing. I'm like, okay. And I'm like, all right, yeah, I guess I should probably put the song here. So that's cool. Thanks for explaining the sunflower song. I know, I love it. Marcella, we got a brand new song. We got Marcella's sunflower song. Okay. So they've created a gardening ritual to call forth the sun. I think their character type is they're kind of like a chaotic. They they worship Mother Nature. I mean, because I think that's essentially what they're going to be at heart. They're a worshiper of Mother Nature, and they want to return the lands to their natural state, free of animals. Yep. They worship Mother Nature and worship Mother Nature and want to return the lands to their natural state. They worship Mother Nature and want to return the lands to their natural state. Let's see. Yeah, they're kind of like they're a little bit of like a crazed like worshiper. They're a craze. I was like, do I want to touch? I don't think I want to touch upon like I think it's going to be a type of religious belief, but I really want it to be like the belief in like in the nature of the lands, less about the magic. I don't think I need to focus like, well, they do have this magical ability. I don't want this part of the story to be about the magic. I want it to be more about how they're worshiping Mother Nature and how the effects of this magic has created this kind of like, in a way, it's a haven for the characters that are there, but on the other hand, it's like a haven, but you basically got to toil away endlessly. Let's say thanks. That's cool. Sing it, Kauffman. Sing. I was like, okay. I was like, actually, I could. I guess I could sing it. I actually like singing, but I don't think I'm the greatest singer though. Let's see. In my mind, how did I hear it? For all the flowers in the dark, for all the fruits who feel the spark, for all the veggies near the mark, we shall set us free. Without having this as a tone, so like this is I have the three parts to this. And I did want it to have a rhyming scheme. Let's see. We will let's see. We will be the trees of the forest heart. And this is like I feel like I need to fix this one because I want this to rhyme a little bit more. I want it to be a little more melodic. We will be the trees of the forest's heart. We will be the droplets of water in the ocean's heart. That one's like a little feels a little too lengthy. We will be we will be stronger than the mightiest bark. Then the garden will set us free. Then the garden will set us free. I think that's the overall tonality of it. For all the flat, yeah, because I want it to have this like hauntingly. I think maybe what I'll do when I get closer to the final draft, I'll probably record it. I'll hire a professional, somebody who's has a better singing voice than I do to actually sing it. That would actually be super cool. And this is something super simple I could do. It'd actually be a great promo too. Be a great promo. Maybe I do this as part of the book promo if I create like a video. It'd be really funny if that Sheryl Crow song was the incantation. That would be great. I'll be like, Sheryl Crow, I gotta hire Sheryl Crow. Oh man, oh, he's really singing. I love it. I mean, I love singing, but the thing is, I don't think I'm an incredible singer. It's same with my acting. I don't think I'm an incredible actor, but I know I'm a great writer. Like, I know I'm good at writing. The other elements I enjoy, but I don't think I'm great at. Hopefully, my 2020, my goal, my like the next phase of my writing journey, hopefully 2025 is to travel to writing conventions and speak at writing conventions. So that'll be the next goal. I need to have either more investors, or B, I need to be generating more revenue for the business to be able to afford traveling, or have a bigger brand so that way I can get sponsorship. One of the three to be able to get to that stage of my journey. And then hopefully we can all meet at writing conventions. Like that'd be super cool. We talked about on the Sunday podcast. Like this was somebody suggested a really cool idea. I was like, what if at the right now community, what if we plan like a meetup? Like we planned it like 9 months ahead of time at a writing convention, and we like planned it so that way anybody who had the time and who could afford to go to like probably like a major writing convention somewhere, we could like plan it out ahead of time. I think that would be super cool. Maybe something for next year I was thinking about. I thought that would be a really cool like writing meetup at a popular writing convention. Hmm. So that's my golden sunflower. They worship Mother Nature. Let's see. So I hope that answered your question, Marta. Maybe. Fingers crossed. We'll see. That would be awesome. I know, right? If you have a tour, visit Poland. Woo! Absolutely. I was like, I would probably start out with the US market. But I it's funny you said that because I was talking to one of my friends earlier, and they wanted me to hold a writers retreat. They had like this mansion over in Europe, I think, over in France, and they wanted to host a writers retreat there. And I'm like, wow, that'd actually be super cool. I actually have a lot of friends in European countries, so I feel like I definitely would have to. I'll have to definitely travel over there at some point. That'd be so cool. If there's one thing I do, I love traveling. I absolutely love traveling. I just need to make sure that I just need to be in the right place with my business to be able to afford it. Because like I can do my live streaming anywhere. For the most part, I have a traveling setup, but I need to make sure the finances are in place to be able to make it sustainable. If you have a tour, visit Poland for your sweet, for your accommodations. That'd be awesome, Marta. I would love to visit Poland. I've never been to Poland. I'm actually my part of my background, I'm Hungarian. It's Hungarian from my Jewish side. So I feel like I would want to visit Hungary in that area as well. Granted, I don't know very too much about any of those areas. When I traveled through the UK, I did a back or not that just the UK, but Europe. I did a backpacking trip about this was about 10 years ago, maybe a little longer. I did a backpacking trip. We traveled through, let's see, I wanted to say we did England. So we did the UK, we did Germany, France, I remember I did the Netherlands, and then we also did the Netherlands was super awesome. And then we also did Denmark. So I remember those were some of the areas we traveled to. Great backpacking experience. Absolutely loved it. Would love to visit again. So yeah, I know that would be super cool, right? That would be like really cool. It'd be so cool to do a writers meetup. Hey, what's up, Emma? Holy, I'll have to catch the replay. Yeah, totally no worries. Totally no worries. By the way, for everyone who's here in the stream, I'm curious, did you guys have a good holiday weekend? For those of you who are here in the US, obviously it's a holiday weekend. For those of you who are outside of the US, hopefully you're having a good start to the week. Let's see. So, golden sunflower. So, they what do they want? They created a gardening ritual. Uh, they've created a they've created a ritual to call forth the sun. They want to return the lands to their normal state. They worship Mother Nature by they worship Mother Nature by by entrapping by entrapping hmm, by entrapping passerbys. I'm going to put similar to a siren, and by entrapping passerbys to toil away in the gardens, what they call the gardens, by entrapping passerbys to toil away in the gardens. They worship Mother Nature by entrapping passerbys to toil away in the gardens. In the gardens. This, let's see, enough. Let's see, how does this lead to a ritual? I would say they rely on enough growth to enact a ritual to worship the sun. Do they worship the sun? Or I guess they worship, it's technically going to be the mother. I feel like I want to give it a different name. So for now, I'm just going to worship the sun. I'm going to worship nature, the sun, the mother. So I'm kind of going back and forth on what specifically, but I want it to be that element. They are they have a very calm, warm, welcoming presence. Yeah, they have a very calm, warm, welcoming presence with with an extremely crazed with an extremely crazed undertone. Like it's interesting because this the golden sunflower is a very interesting leader dynamic, and I loved writing the character. I actually really wanted to flesh it out more, but essentially they're this like kind of like warm, welcoming leader, and they're speaking to you in such a kind, calm way. But the more they speak, you start getting like this almost like this maniacal religious fervor, but it's like a very, very subversive undertone, and it's very, very cool. So they have a very calm, warm, welcoming presence with an extremely crazed undertone. Awesome. So I'm pretty good about that. What do they want? Abuse abilities, musical manipulation. Their songs enchant passerbys to let's see, their songs enchant anyone into a let's see, it's like a certain state into a trance. Their songs enchant listeners into a trance, into a manipulative trance. Their songs enchant listeners into a trance like state. Let's see. Their songs enchant listeners into a trance like state that allows that allows them the that allows them to control their actions and thoughts through suggestion. Perfect. So it's a form. So this is a form of mind control to a certain extent. This is kind of like a cross between like music and mind control. So musical manipulation, musical control, musical manipulation. So I'm going back and forth. We'll see. Actually, enchanting control, enchanting. No, because that's enchantment. No, I'm gonna stick with that for now. Okay. So what is my sunflower? What is my golden sunflower's story? Hmm. Tiara, I worked all weekend. Aw, sorry that you had to work all weekend. I totally feel your pain. I did customer service for almost 15 years, probably dealt with over 100,000 customers as both a working as a barista, a supervisor, and a manager. And I just dealt with so many customers. And the one thing you know from customer service, anybody who's worked customer service, you get it. Holidays are always very busy. Regardless of what type of customer service you do, whether it's food, retail, or something else, customer service is always busy. Or customer service holidays and holiday weekends are always busier, and then holidays are always busier. Hopefully you get some like nice relaxing time soon, Tiara. Like weekend schmeekins, I'm retired. Then during you get to just enjoy the retired life. Like I always tell my dad, I'm like, you worked for like you worked consistently for the past like 50, 60 years. You deserve to just enjoy retirement. Like enjoy your retirement, live your best life, and enjoy having no responsibilities because you earned it. In a day and age, like if you make it to retirement and you're healthy and you're able to financially do the things that you want to do, like more power to you. I think that's awesome. Exactly. They're exactly like a siren. They're like a musical siren. That was kind of my character type with it. They're a musical. They're a religious musical siren. They are a religious musical siren. Let's just put that right at the top. A a religious musical siren of sorts. Okay, so what is their backstory? So, so I need to think about why is nature so important for them. Hmm. Let's see. So what do I want the sunflower's origin story to be? I'm like, do I start them off as a gardener? Do I start them off as some type of religious? Okay. So let's start them off as they hmm, I'm like trying to think of, do I start them off as another type of creature type, or do I start them off as another species? I think I just start them off as a flower. I think that's really as simple as that. I think so. They originated as a simple sunflower. When they when they were met with an essence. Oh yeah, I have to figure out which essence. So musical manipulation. What essences would that fall under? Let's see. That would probably be so musical manipulation would probably be, since it's a form of mind control, I think it would be spirit. Since it bends reality, it would probably be a time. Musical manipulation. So I think it would be air, time, and spirit. Because technically they're in a trance, so they're kind of losing. Is it that they're? Is it that they're losing? Mm, I'm like, do I make their ability based off? Do I have the essences be air, time, and spirit, or do I just do air and spirit? I'm like, I definitely air, definitely spirit. Just do I go time as well? I'll put question mark. We'll see if time is a good essence for that one. Okay. So they originated as a simple sunflower, and we'll go back there. So they originated as a simple sunflower. When they were met with the essences of air, spirit. When they were met with, not the essences, but when they were met with the parasites, when they were, did I put it in infection? When they were infected with the parasites of air, spirit, and time. Mm, yeah, we'll do that for now. When they were infected with the parasites of air, spirit, and time, they were granted sentience. They were granted sentience and a newfound and the ability of musical manipulation with no understanding of a human language. So why would they be inspired by music? Why music? So they would probably have to have some type of back. They would have to have originated somewhere where music is a thing. So why music? Mm. With no understanding of, oh, do I give them the ability to speak, or maybe they literally can only sing. That could be interesting. With no understanding of language, they are only able to communicate through song. With no understanding of language, they are only able to communicate through song. Believing, believing their powers, believing their sentience and powers originate from nature. They let's see. believing their sentience and powers originate from nature. They 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 choose to worship. They choose to worship its. They choose to worship the immense. They choose to worship it. Let's see. They want to. So why do they want to return the lands to their original state? They've created a ritual to call forth the sun. It could be just something as simple as the sun makes them happy, and they grow. They feel like they grow as the sun, and it could be that that's been changed over time. They originated as a simple sunflower. When they were infected by the parasites of air, spirit, and time, they were granted sentience and the ability of musical manipulation. With no understanding of language, they are only able to communicate through song. No understanding of language, they were only able to communicate through song. Believing their sentience and powers originate from nature, they chose to worship it. Okay, actually, so let's move this down through song. Animals who passed through the garden would trample over nature in passing, and try as she might. Sunflower is a she. Try as she might, she her try she might, her brethren, the other flowers were needlessly destroyed until she learned to use her power to until she realized that she could use her ability to control passerbys and put them into a trance like state. Over time, these passerbys lost their animal form, changing into changing over time. These passerbys lost their animal form, changing into species of changing into various forms of plants, vegetables, and wildlife. Believing her ability, believing her ability was destined by nature, she worships it, wants to spread the garden to all garden to the garden everywhere. The garden to all. Yeah, we'll just put everywhere. Believe it. Okay, so let's see if does this work. So the golden they originated as a simple sunflower. The golden sunflower originated as a simple sunflower. When they were infected with the parasites of air, spirit, and time, they were granted sentience and the ability of musical manipulation. Actually, okay, there's actually another character here I need to touch upon. So there's actually another one which is called the wilted sunflower, which takes part in a little later in the story. I think I need to have the two sunflowers were infected by the same spirits, but while the golden sunflower basically became more beautiful, the wilted sunflower became more decayed and ended up leaving. So the golden sunflower originated as a simple sunflower in a field of flowers. alongside her brother, the wilted, I'm going to call the wilted sunflower. When both of them were infected with the parasites of air, spirit, and time, they were granted sentience. They were granted sentience. They were granted sentience. Yep. The golden sunflower was granted musical manipulation, while her brother was granted a different ability. Different ability. Let's see. With no understanding of language, the golden sunflower could only, let's see, with a different ability. Over time, the golden sunflower became more beautiful with the sun's growth, while the wilted sunflower decayed, eventually leaving out of spite. The golden sunflower tried to influence animals who passed through the garden to treat their kind with care, but she was ignored, and they would trample over nature in passing. And try as she might, the other flowers were needlessly destroyed until she realized that she could use her ability to control passerbys and put them into a trance-like state. Over time, these passerbys lost their animal form, changing into various forms of plants, vegetables, and wildlife, while they toiled away in the gardens. Believing her ability was destined by nature, she worships it and wants to spread the garden everywhere. Perfect. I think that's a good sizable little backstory for her. I'm pretty good with that for now. All right, let's see, where were we at? Pew. TR, you're like, I work at a liquor store and it's so ridiculous, especially during the holidays, but I'm off on Wednesday. That makes sense. But I'm off on Wednesday. Woo, like Wednesday, almost here, where you're one more day. Yeah, I could totally imagine how busy liquor stores would be on holiday weekends. It's probably crazy for you over there. Maybe for your rhymes, we will be the leaves of the trees. Ooh, let's see. We will be the leaves of the trees. We will be the droplets in the seas. Oh, I kind of like that. Let's see. We will be the trees of the forest heart. We will be the leaves of the trees. We will be the droplets in the seas. We will be the droplets of water in the ocean's heart. That's right. I'm gonna play around with that. I actually like that, Durian. That's a great recommendation. We will be the leaves of the trees. We will be the droplets in the seas. Yeah, I like that. I think I could incorporate that. That's actually really interesting. I raised 5 kids. I earn everything good. Aw, that's incredible. Thanks for sharing that. Let's see. Our strengths will be the strands of a cord of 3. That would actually be really that would actually be an interesting concept if they were influenced by music through birds, through like a passing like a songbird of some type. That could be interesting. Perhaps alongside her brother and influenced by passing songbirds. I think that could be really interesting. I like that. There probably were. There were definitely passing by birds. Since the garden itself is actually situated relatively close to New City, which is really like the last real. It's kind of like the last real like ruins, so to speak, of one of the former humanity cities. But it's kind of used as kind of like it's kind of used as a protection point for some animals. It's kind of used as a trial. Kind of, it used to be used as a war ground. So it's the gardens itself is located in like a passing by field, so to speak. Awesome. So with her, so I feel good about going sunflower, which means I should probably focus on wilted sunflower next, since that's perfect. Awesome. So I got wilted sunflower next. Beautiful. And I actually think I can do wilted's. So abilities is what? Wilted sunflower kind of grows muck. So wilted sunflower. So if it was entranced by what was that? Air, spirit, and time. Well, her ability is music. His ability is it's kind of like it's like a muck. He kind of like dispels like a muck that drips from his flower body, his frame. Let's see. It's because his is a form of like dream manipulation. So hers was musical manipulation, his was dream manipulation. Dream manipulation. Also air, spirit, and time. Air, spirit, time. He dispels a thick a thick muck like substance. Is it tar like muck? It feels like a thick like mud like. We'll put mud. A thick mud like substance that he dispels a thick mud like substance that grows. He dispels a thick mud like substance. Those who come into contact with this mud are entrapped in their dreams. Those who come into contact with this mud are entrapped in their own it's in a shared dream state with wilted sunflower. Perfect. That's essentially its ability. What does it want? What does it want? So this happens a couple obstacles later. This happens when Scarecrow, Crow, and Pebble are passing through the forest. They basically slide into this lake of muck, this lake of mud, and they're basically trapped in a dream state that they have to come out of. But I haven't really determined or defined what it wants. Hmm. Okay. Well, I'm gonna have to think about it because I think I have to. I have another commitment. Okay. Perfect. Okay. So I need to wrap up the editing portion of this. I'll continue on editing tomorrow. Taking me too long. I want to get through my character editing. Okay. So tomorrow I need to just focus on character development so I can get through the characters. Kauffman, don't get sidetracked. Okay. So, once again, so I'm going to do another quick shout out. So, for those of you who came into the stream a little later or came in halfway through the stream, I wanted to announce, let's see. So, with the launch of my redesigned coaching program, this is the redefined coaching program for unpublished writers. Once again, this is a program that's going to help with coaching. Definitely check out, here's the website link if you want to check it out. There's the website link, and I go into the details of how much it costs. There's an hourly model, a subscription monthly model, and then single book development sessions. This goes into the value proposition of specifically what are the things that you can get out of it. And you can go check out the website if you want to know more. To celebrate the launch of it, I'm on Saturday, I'm going to be doing a coaching development stream. So if you want to sign up for a free coaching session, apply now. Let's see, do I still have where did I was like, I didn't save the link for some reason. All right, let's see. Let me go grab the link again. So there's a submission link if you want to apply. Let me get copy the short link again. Perfect. So here's the short link. So if you want to apply for a free coaching session, sign up now. I'm putting it out to the Right Now community first, and then I will be selecting the winner on Friday. The winner, we will be doing the live coaching session on our Saturday stream. The Saturday stream is going to revolve around what are all the pain points and what are the main problems that writers deal with. The specific problems, so we're going to be doing a couple things. We're going to be doing a live coaching session. I'm also going to be reviewing each of the problems that writers deal with, right? Why do writers deal with why do they need critiques and reviews, right? Why do they need a development plan and strategy for their book? Why is accountability important? We'll talk about blurbs. We'll talk about series Bibles, outlines. I use a very specific technique called the Be Me technique. I've detailed it before, but I'll go into a little more depth. And then we'll also talk about some writing techniques. So we're going to do all that and more on our Saturday stream, but definitely follow the link if you want to sign up. This definitely gives you some detail on how to apply, what to expect, and a couple of questions to answer. So definitely apply now if you want a free coaching session to celebrate the launch of this redesigned coaching program. Awesome. Thank you for that. Wanted to give that as a shout out one more time. And once again, for those of you who've joined the community, I just really want to thank you for all of your support. A way that you could help me out, and this is something that I would really appreciate, if whether or not you're looking for coaching services or not is totally fine, right? We have to be in the right place in the right time for when we need a coaching service. But if you know somebody, do you know any writers in your life? Do you know any writers in your life who would benefit from writer coaching? So this is going out to each of you right now. I'm offering a free coaching session to any of you who refer a writer to me who ends up paying for a coaching session. So this is a one-time referral thing that I'm offering. If you refer a writer to me, if you know somebody in your life who would benefit from writer coaching, if you refer a writer to me and they sign up for at least one coaching session, you will be given a free coaching session yourself. So it's kind of like a referral thing that I'm trying out. It's because, and this is what this is what the money's going towards, right? So I've have a steady enough stream of coaching clients. I'm generating services and revenue from my writing services. I'm at a point where I'm able to sustain the business needs and my current cost of living. But for me to be able to take my business to the next phase, right? For me to be able to invest in better quality equipment, for me to be able to invest in an actual streaming studio, the bedroom is great, but I want to invest in an actual streaming studio so I can bring you a quality experience. I also want to be able to invest in traveling to writing conventions and speaking to more writers, and then maybe meeting more of you out there. And when I end up traveling to different areas, for me to do that, I need to get to that next level. For me to get to that next level, I need to increase my clients, or I need to seek investors, or picking up other part-time work to make that a reality. So any of the possibilities I'm fine with. But this is why I'm asking you now. If you know a writer in your life who you think would benefit from coaching, tell them to message me. My contact is everywhere. I would really appreciate it. Thanks, friends. Let's see. WTC, I will probably need to get an accountability partner. Yeah, I totally get that. You know what? I looked up a really interesting article the other day, and an article said that 97% of writers never publish their first book. Now, whether or not that's true or not, I don't know, but that was just a crazy statistic to me. And I think a lot of writers start with the right framework, they start with the right mindset, but then they get lost either because they create these really big projects, series, universes, and then they get sidetracked by life because writing isn't making them money, right? And writing is a very long term investment. If you don't have a successful framework, you don't have systems in place, then it's hard for it to be sustainable. I understand that because I've gone through the same journey, especially when I was trying to balance doing a full-time job and multiple commitments. And like, how do you say you can invest time to writing when you're like stressed about bills, or you have a family, right? You have family responsibilities, or you're a student. And it's all about balance, right? It's about balancing that with your other hobbies and making sure to give it time to make it sustainable. Let's see, Mario, do you consider people wanting to make their own manga? Yeah, absolutely. Because even a manga still needs a script. I actually worked with a client recently who's doing now that they call I call this like the graphic novel market, but essentially whether you consider it a graphic novel or you consider it a manga, you still have to come out with the script for it first, Marta, which is a great thing. And that's something that would also benefit from a writer coach. The structure for a graphic novel or a manga is a little different because you have to write all the words first. I generally recommend like write the core story first, and then you're layering on how does each panel look. Absolutely. So that's always a good one. If a writer needs help with a manga or a graphic novel, I've actually already worked with a client before who's worked on developing one, so I could definitely help them out. Now, while I couldn't help them out with obviously the animation style, that's not my expertise. I could help them with fleshing out their core story, so that way it's clear to make the script part of it as easy as possible. And then whether or not they animate it themselves or they hire somebody else or they bring on a team, I can help them get the script to a point where whoever they pass it off to work with is crystal clear on what the story is. Great question. Yeah, that's exactly what happens. WGC. It's like we almost catch ourselves into these like editing imposter syndrome type cycles where we start off with the best intentions, but then because like the projects take a lot of time, then we kind of get lost in the process. That happens a lot. Happens to a lot of unpublished writers. I thought it was just me early on, and now after I've like been talking with over like probably well over 1,000 writers this past 6 months, like it's a very common problem. Very, very common. Hey, what's up, Ari? Thanks for stopping by the stream. How goes the edits? It's going great, actually. We just finished up some more character development. I haven't gotten to the second book at it yet. I'm almost there. Let's see. I just finished. Where is my plan? Let's see. There we go. So with here, I have two more things. I have to finish up my minor character development plans. And then I do need to do a map of the world building, and then I'll be ready to start the second edit. Let's see. How many more characters do I have? I'm halfway through Wheelchair. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I have about 10 and a half minor characters. On my next stream tomorrow, I need to like bullet point. I need to speed through these characters. I'm taking too long talking through them. So that's what I'll do tomorrow. We'll continue on the character development and then the map. Oh, that'd be awesome, Marta. You know, like my drawing skills come down to like I can draw stick figures. So that's definitely not my specialty. But you're definitely an amazing artist. You with the work that you sent before. That's really cool. I would definitely love that. Awesome. So with that being said, that is all that I got for you today. So I'm going to wrap up this stream, but thank you so much for helping me. If you want to kind of say more, I'm actually about to hop onto another stream with some other horror writers. I've been invited to go hop on a horror stream. One of our previous podcast guests, Carissa Grant, usually has hosts a weekly Monday stream with like horror and other, it's like talking about like horror and media. It'll be on Facebook. So if you want to come join me, I'll be streaming on Facebook for the next hour. If you want to come talk about like horror or more like graphic novel. For those of you who don't remember, Carissa Grant was a guest 2 weeks ago. I think it was 2 weeks ago where we talked about graphic novels because she does an online digital magazine with Chaos Comics. She does a very great comic series. It's awesome. So any like horror writers or any like graphic novels or artists out there would probably get value out of it. She does her stream every Monday. So it'll be on my Facebook. Just come join me over on the Facebook stream. And I think I don't know if I can stream it to my channel. If I can, I will. We'll see how it goes. If I can, I will. I haven't even looked into that yet. So yeah, but I'll be streaming through the Facebook channel. So we'll see how it goes. Awesome. And that, because I have to get going, that brings me to the end of the stream. Thank you for joining today. You guys gave some really great inspiration. And remember those community call outs, the offers. If you want the free coaching session, definitely apply, spread the word, do the referral. If somebody signs up, you'll get a free coaching session yourself. Let's do it. Help me grow this community so we can get to the next level. And that, my friends, is all that I got for you today. Don't forget, words are wind, but stories are forever. I'm Kauffman, and I'll catch you on the morrow, unless you're joining me on a Facebook live stream soon. All right. And that's all that I got for you, my friends. As always, stay creative, and I'll catch you on the next.